So I sold my Apple Watch Ultra a couple of days ago and got this. This is the Huawei Watch GT5. And I'm not here to tell you it is the best smartwatch you can buy, but it is better than the Apple Watch in a couple of things, but it does have a couple of caveats. So let's get started. This watch is made from titanium on the bezels, but the straps are only a titanium alloy, so it's not completely made out of titanium. And that's completely understandable because the price is not that expensive. It's actually cheaper than the Apple Watch Ultra, but we're going to talk about that in a couple of seconds more. It also has a better battery life. You can get from 14 days to 10 days depending how you use it. You can have always on display, but this will decrease the battery life dramatically, as well as having the oxygen and heart sensor completely on all the time. Depends completely on your preferences. And talking about sensors, this does have a heart rate sensor, it does have an oxygen sensor, and also has a temperature sensor, thing that the Apple Watch doesn't have. But it can tell you your blood pressure. There is another watch from Huawei that can, but that's the Huawei Watch D2. And we'll probably have that around here in a couple of days, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out, and let me tell you what I think about that watch. But this that is the GT5 is pretty interesting, especially because of the size, the form, and also the weight. Considering it's actually a titanium alloy, it's pretty light. It's pretty similar to the Apple Watch Ultra. It's not that different, but I do consider this one's even a little bit lighter, and it's pretty comfortable even to sleep with. Yes, look at this metal band, and I can still sleep with this watch, as well as use it in other activities. Talking about activities, well, it does have a couple of modes I never saw in any other watch. For example, the golf mode. The golf mode is very interesting. In Latin America, yes, Latin America, because that's where I live, you can get about 15,000 maps loaded on the watch for different golf courses that are certified and localized by Huawei. So you only put what golf course you're going to go, you insert all your information, and you can start measuring your game straight from the watch, which is pretty cool. Obviously, this is a niche thing. Not everybody plays golf. I can't even play golf. I have nowhere to play. I live in the city. But for those persons that are actually looking for a watch to play golf with, well, yeah, Huawei Watch GT5, pretty interesting. Another thing that's important to mention, there is another variant from this watch. You can either get it a little bit smaller, or you can also get it with a leather band or even a rubber band if that's what you're into. But I do prefer this titanium alloy band. Makes it look a lot more aesthetic and also a lot more elegant. But obviously when you go to the gym, this might not be what you want to be rocking, right? It's probably a little bit too flashy for a lot of people, but honestly for me, I think it's a great option. I really don't care what people think, and I really like the aesthetics on it. Another thing I really liked, and one of the reasons I didn't use Huawei Watch as a daily driver in the past versions, is the operating system. It feels a lot more fluid, a lot more responsive, and has a couple of functions that we're going to talk about in a few seconds. But also the screen helps a lot. This is a sapphire crystal. It's resistant to scratches. Obviously, it's not perfect. You can scratch it if you go deep enough. Maybe Jerry Rigs Everything should try one of these, although since they don't sell them in the States officially, I think that's why they don't test them anymore. But it would be interesting if this is more resistant than the Apple Watch itself. Also, the screen only has 1,200 nits. That is something I do miss from the Apple Watch Pro, which used to have 2,000 nits. You can see it better in direct sunlight or extreme exposure, but still, it's not bad. And in most scenarios, I think it's going to be fine. I mean, I'm not using my watch all day, and I don't have it towards me all the time. So again, 1,200 nits, I think is perfectly fine. The buttons on this version also feel very premium compared to last year's. The crown on it actually has a tactile response. It kind of vibrates when you're spinning it, which is pretty nice, pretty similar to what you get on the Apple Watch as well. The button on the side also helps a lot and helps you navigate through menus in case you don't want to be touching all the menus on the screen and filling your watch well with fingerprints. Well, it's a nice addition and feels pretty premium, which is something I used to miss when I used to wear Huawei watches and use my Apple Watch. So it's something that I can count on now. That's why I'm using it as a daily driver as well. Another thing that I like compared to the Apple Watch is that you can actually use it with different ecosystems. Obviously, you can use it on Huawei devices. Any phone from Huawei is compatible, although I know a lot of you guys don't have a Huawei phone. You can also use it on iOS without any issues. It's completely compatible. It just has a couple of functions that are not compatible with iOS, but the usage is pretty similar to what you get on Android or you get on Huawei. Complete disclosure and honesty with you guys, if you're going to use it on Android, you do have to download first the APK from App Gallery. Then once inside the App Gallery, you have to download the APK from Huawei Health. So that way you can link it and access all your information towards the watch. It's not really a big deal. This is a one-time thing. Once you download App Gallery, you don't have to go inside and download it all the time. Just once in a while, check if there are any updates for the app and you can update it from there. But again, I don't think it's a big deal, especially since it's just a watch application. If you were maybe using a Huawei phone where you had to do this all the time for all your apps, I can see the inconvenience. But for the watch, I think it's not a big deal. Now, one of the main differences you get on Android devices compared to iOS is that you can actually answer messages, including apps like WhatsApp for the first time. Previously, you couldn't, but now you can do it straight from your watch only if you have an Android or Huawei device. You still can't do it from iOS, and I'm pretty sure you will never be able to do it from iOS. Again, this is not important for me. I never answer messages from my watch, not even my previous Apple Watch, so again, it's not a big deal. But if you're a person that needs this, well, this might be important for you. But that's one of the reasons I didn't mind switching my Apple Watch. Now, exercise-wise and sensor-wise, this version is a lot better than the previous ones I used to use from Huawei. Previously, when I wanted to exercise with Huawei watches, it could be a hit or miss. The sensor could grab maybe my heart rate or it couldn't, depending on how sweaty I was, whether if it was moving too much. But this year's is a lot more precise, and it also grabs my pulse even better than the Apple Watch. When I'm sweating, the Apple Watch also could hit or grab my pulse. Most of the time it could get it, but occasionally it would miss. Now this Huawei watch hasn't missed a single time, which makes it even a better experience that I used to get on the Apple Watch Ultra, which is crazy to me, especially for the price difference. So now I can actually use it for one of the things that's most important for me, which is recording all my workouts and checking out my heart rate. Because yeah, I'm pretty techie and nerdy in that way. I like to see how many calories I burn, and I like to see where my heart zones are most of the time. So great deal with this Huawei watch. They also added a couple of things that you might consider are not that important, but are interesting to have in a watch. They can tell you whether if you're angry, sad, depending on your humor. It compares different things on the watch, for example, your temperature, your heart rate, and your oxygen. So it'll tell you whether if you feel kind of happy, neutral, or even mad. So if you want that, you can actually do it. It also has a mascot which tells you what mood you're in, and that is a panda. It's straight in the watch faces. You do have a couple of watch faces straightly installed in the watch, but you can also download more from the Huawei Health app. So in case you want more and don't like the ones that are only here, don't worry, there are more options. Last but not least, occasionally I do need my watch to be water resistant, so you can scuba dive with this up to 50 ATM, which means atmospheres, in case you're into that, or you can use it in a pool without any issues. I guarantee you there is no 50 atmosphere pool, so practically in any pool you'll be pretty safe, which is pretty crazy considering the aesthetics on this watch. Again, that is the thing I like the most. But the main reason that made me change to this watch compared to the Apple Watch is the convenience. I hate having to charge my watch daily. I travel a lot for the job I have here, which is reviewing tech. I go to a lot of parts of the world, including the US, Europe, or even South America, to new product launching or any type of things that people or brands invite me to. So it's pretty annoying to have to carry an extra cable and charge it every single night. And in case I forget, I'm just carrying dead weight with a watch that is completely dead. This watch I know will last me most of my trips, because most of my trips don't last more than 10 days, which is pretty convenient for me as well. I can also consultate notifications because I do use this watch on iOS. I can do all my workouts and I can have all the sensors I actually need. So there is not that much of a difference in watch experience for me. I do like the practicality a little bit more. Again, it's not the watch for everybody. It does have those couple of caveats, especially downloading the app and not being able to answer messages on iOS, which I know will deter a couple of people from buying it, but I'm pretty interested. Are you guys interested in a watch like this? Would you rock a Huawei watch every single day? I have no issues till now, and I've been using it for maybe about 2 months. In case you want to buy it, check my affiliate links down below in the description. And also, don't forget to check this video over here, which I think you might like as well. Drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe because it helps us out quite a bit.